Peace and love, Royal Family. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Peace and love. Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good. YouTube, look me up, Don Kilam. Right now is the time to hit like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, share. All right? Like, subscribe, share. If you find this information of value. I'm going over the application of commercial law, part 2. I've already done a part 1. Now we're doing a part 2. And I appreciate everybody for rocking with me. Appreciate the donations as well. Roll on up. We're going over some great, valuable information today. Application of commercial law, part 2. We've already went over part 1. This is part 2. Let me break it down what part 2 is going over. The purpose is to learn the simplest form of UCC1 agreements and liens to retain rights to the natural self in Strawman and Unplug from the matrix. To bring you back to your prosperity way of thinking, and the final product is to operate in commerce correctly and efficiently as a Freeman. If you desire the manuscripts being read, send $20 donation via Cash App, the Don Kilam, THEDONKILAM. Put your email address in the memo box with hashtag ACL2 for application of commercial law part 2 documents. And it will include the manuscript being read and the UCC1 template filled in for you, so you have a visual for you. Do you follow me? If you want to go over this screen share, you're going to want to look up Don Kilam on the YouTube. You can just go to youtube.com/Don Kilam, DOTCOM, DonKilam.com. All right, we are live on the YouTube. I appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If you don't mind, go ahead and let me know wherever you're tuning in from. Let me know your city, your state, or whatever, man. I'd like to know where you're tuning in from, so we know where Don Kilam needs to go next. I am going to be in the Chicago area at the end of the month. So if you're in the Chicago area at the end of June, hit me up. We can probably make something work, make something shake. You feel me? Atlanta, Georgia is going to be in September. No doubt it's going to be a great event in Atlanta, Georgia in September. It's going down. All right? We're going to make some great things happen. But let's get to it. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and share, like I said. Let me read this scripture first, man. Psalms 27, because you got to understand, man, today was a solar eclipse. A lot of people don't know, and a new moon. So make sure your intentions are clear. You have clear intentions, all right? This is a great power in the ether, so to speak. Great things are happening. Great things are manifesting. So make sure you learn how to harness that type of solar or lunar energy, because it's important. But Psalms 27 says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even my enemies and my foes, came up upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. Though a host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war should rise against me, in this will I be confident. One thing I've desired of the Lord, that I will seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord, and to inquire in his temple. For in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion, in the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. He shall set me up upon a rock. And now shall my head be lifted up upon my enemies round about me. Therefore will I offer in his tabernacle sacrifices of joy. I will sing, I will sing praises unto the Lord. Hear, O Lord, when I cry my voice. Have mercy also upon me and answer me. When thou said, seek ye my face, my heart said unto thee, thy face, Lord, will I seek. Hide not thy face far from me. Put not thy servant away in anger. Thou hast been in my help. Leave me not, neither forsake me, O God, my salvation. When my father and my mother forsake me, the Lord will take me up. Teach me the way, O Lord, and lead me in a plain path because of my enemies. Deliver me not over into the will of my enemies, for false witnesses are risen up against me, and such breathe out cruelty. I have fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thy heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. That's it. Much peace and love. That's it. Now, what y'all been waiting for? Let's get into it, man. I got enough people watching. We got J. Don Wise, man, bro. Peace and love, man. Appreciate all the donations, man. After the class, I'm gonna make sure you get these documents that we're gonna be going over. That's my word. Make sure you put the email address in the memo box and hashtag ACL2. Okay, it's gonna make it a lot easier for both of us. So, Uniform Commercial Code, the application of commercial law, part 2. Understand what's going on. I'm going to turn the cash apps down so y'all can't hear what's going on that, man. Turn that off. I just like to know when I'm receiving the cash apps, make sure I'm doing my job. I haven't even got started yet. Y'all dropped me cash app, so I appreciate it. The cash app is the Don Kilam, THEDONKILAM. Now look, the Uniform Commercial Code. The National Conference of Commissioners on Uniform State Laws, together with the American Law Institute, drafted nationwide uniform laws, and each state has now adopted these laws. These laws govern commercial transactions, including sales and leasing goods, transfers of funds, commercial paper, bank deposits and collections, letters of credit, bulk transfers, warehouse receipts, bills of lading, investment securities, and secured transactions. The UCC has been adopted in whole or substantially by all states. And by the way, the disclaimer is I'm not a licensed attorney and tax expert. I do this for educational and informational purposes only, so you may be more informed on certain subject matters. All right? Now, Black's Law 6th edition. These are the Black Slave Codes, right? Black's Law Dictionary. The UCC is a code of laws governing various commercial transactions, sale of goods, banking transactions, secure transactions and personal property, and other matters that was designed to bring unity and uniformity in areas to the law of the various states, and that has been adopted with some modifications. In all states, including the District of Columbia in the Virgin Islands, Barron's Third Dictionary, unless displaced by the particular provisions of this code, the principles of law and equity, including the law of merchant and the law relative to capacity to contract, principal and agent, estoppel, fraud, misrepresentations, duress, coercion, mistake, bankruptcy, or other validating or invalidating cause, shall supplement its provisions. UCC 1-103, to paraphrase the third definition above, the UCC is the supreme law on the planet, and all other forms of law are encompassed by it, including in it, except you as a sovereign, of course. Pennsylvania was the first state to adopt the UCC, July 1954, and Louisiana the last, January 1st, 1975. The following is a quote from the Bank Officer's Handbook of Commercial Banking Law within the United States, 6th edition, paragraph 22.01, subsection 1, and pertains to certain types of transactions. There are 12 transactions to which the UCC does not apply. They are as follows: secured interest, that's governed by federal statutes; landlord liens; liens for services or materials provided; assignment for claim for wages; transfers by government agencies; certain isolated sale of accounts or chattel paper; insurance policies; judgments; rights of set-off; real estate interests; tort claims; and bank accounts. Now, UCC 104 states, construction against implicit repeal, the code being a general act intended as a unified coverage of its subject matter. No part of it shall be deemed to be implied, repealed by subsequent legislation, and such construction be reasonably avoided. Nothing in the UCC has ever been repealed, nor can it ever be, in the event of conflict between a deleted section, and a current section. Deleted section controls. If this is examined, one will see that it cannot be the other way. Potentially, countless commercial transactions can be consummated based on the current UCC at any time. To cancel any portion of the UCC at a later point is to throw into upheaval and chaos all commercial agreements that were based on the deleted portion. An act that would carry unimaginably astronomically liability to the many actors who attempted to effect such change. Now we must define the United States. This was covered before, but for purposes in this particular area, we must define it for a better understanding applied to this procedure. What is a commercial lien? Do you guys know what a commercial lien is? A commercial lien is a non-judicial claim or charge against property of a lien debtor for a payment of a debt or discharge of a duty or obligation. A lien has the effect of permanently seizing property in 3 months, 90 days. Upon failure of the lien debtor to rebuke the affidavit of claim of lien, the commercial grace of a lien is provided by the 3-month delay of the execution process, allowing resolution either verbally, in writing, or by jury trial within the 90-day grace period. A distress to be defined in Black Law's 6th edition. Bonded by the affidavit of information becomes a finalized, matured commercial lien and accounts receivable. 90 days from the date of filing. The lien right of a lien must be expressed in the form of an affidavit sworn true, correct, and complete with positive identification of the affiant. The swearing is based on one's own commercial's liability. A commercial lien differs from a true bill in commerce only in that let me check everybody out, man. Make sure we good. All right. Like, subscribe, share. Keep dropping those donations. Appreciate everybody. A commercial lien differs from a true bill in commerce only in that ordinarily a true bill in commerce is private, whereas a lien is the same bill publicly declared, usually filed in the office of the county recorder. And like all such declarations, when uncontested by categorical point rebuttal of the affidavit is a security, 15 U.S.C., and an accounts receivable. I need y'all to understand what I just said, and I'm going to try to break it back down to you slowly. A commercial lien differs from a true bill in commerce only in that ordinarily a true bill in commerce is private, whereas a lien is the same bill publicly declared, usually filed in the office of the county recorder. And like all such declarations, when uncontested, point for point rebuttal of the affidavit is a security. It turns it into a security, 15 U.S.C., and an accounts receivable. It's the affidavits. That's what creates the money. And that's what I don't think people are understanding. They're getting lost in the sauce. A commercial lien differs from a non-commercial lien in that it contains a declaration of a one-to-one correspondence between an item or service purchased or offenses committed. And a debt that's owed. So a commercial lien differs from a non-commercial lien in that it contains a declaration of one-to-one correspondence between an item or service purchased or offenses committed and a debt owed. A commercial lien does not require a court process for its establishment. That's what you need to understand. Peace and love, peace and love. Who we got in the building? Black November, peace and love. Now, a commercial lien does not require a court process. However, commercial lien can be challenged via the 7th Amendment jury trial, but may not be removed by anyone except the lien claimant or a jury trial. Properly constituted, conveying and concluded by due process of law. It cannot be removed by summary process, which means judges. A commercial lien or distress can exist in ordinary commerce without dependence on the judicial process and is therefore not a common law instrument unless challenged in a court of common law, whereupon it converts to a common law lien. A commercial lien must always contain an affidavit in support of claim of lien and cannot be removed without a complete rebuttal of the lien's claimant affidavit point by point in order to overthrow the one-to-one correspondence of the commercial lien. Also, no common law process can remove a commercial lien unless the common law process guarantees and results in a complete rebuttal of the lien claimant's affidavit and point for point in order to overthrow the one-to-one correspondence of the commercial lien. I hope it's all making sense. What is a true bill in commerce? This is a ledgering or bookkeeping accounting with every entry established. This is your first affidavit certified and sworn on the responsible party's commercial liability as true, correct, and complete, not meant to mislead. It must contain a one-to-one correspondence between the item or service purchased or offenses committed and the corresponding debt owed. This commercial relationship is what is also known as just compensation. Fifth Amendment to the Constitution. In relationship between the government and the American people, a true bill is called a warrant. Fourth Amendment in the Constitution. In the direct taking of property by legislative act, IRS and the like, is called a bill of pains and penalty. Constitution, Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1, and Article 1, Section 9, Clause 3, Bill of Attainder. There is one other matter we must define before we start putting all these pieces of the puzzle together into a workable tool for our benefit. This is the Uniform Commercial Code itself. United States, USA, the U.S., America, means a federal corporation, period. Title 28 U.S.C. subsection 3002. It is clear the United States is a corporation. 534 Federal Supplement 72-4. It is well settled that the United States is a corporation, originally incorporated February 21st, 1871, under the name District of Columbia. 16 Statute 419, Chapter 62, was organized June 11, 1878, a bankrupt organization per House Joint Resolution 192 on June 5, 1933. Senate Report 93-549, Executive Order 6072-6102 and 6246, defined de facto government, originally the 10 square mile tract, ceded by Maryland and Virginia and compromised in Washington, D.C., plus the possessions, territories, forts, and arsenals. The significance of this is that as a corporation, the United States has no more authority to implement its laws against we the people than does McDonald's Corporation, except for one thing: the contracts we've signed as surety for our Strawman with the United States and the creditor banks. These contracts binding us together with the United States and the bankers are actually not with us, but with our artificial entity, or as they term it, person, which appears to be us but spelled with the all capitalized letters, as this was done under vice-admiralty courts. I hope everybody's following along so far. I'm speeding you guys up. Well, hey, you need to read some stuff then. Vice-admiralty courts in English law. Courts established in the Queen's possession beyond the seas with jurisdiction over maritime causes, including those related to prize. The United States of America is lawfully the possession of the English Crown per original commercial joint venture agreement between the colonies and the Crown in the Constitution, which brought all the states only back under British ownership and rule. The American people, however, had sovereign standing in the law, independence in any connection to the states or the Crown. This fact that the people be brought back one at a time under British rule, and the commercial process was the method of the choice in order to accomplish this task. First through the 14th Amendment and then through the registration of our birth certificate and property. All courts in America are vice-admiralty courts in the Crown's private commerce. except for value and acceptance. By now you have probably heard the term except for value. This term for me gave me quite a problem in understanding when first encountered. And most of the people starting in this redemption program seems to have the same problem. When you look up the word accept in Black's Laws Dictionary 4th edition, you find to receive with approval or satisfaction, to receive with intent to retain. With this in mind, when you get a traffic ticket, a notice of foreclosure, or whatever, one's first instinct is, oh no, I'm certainly not going to accept that. Why would anyone want to accept such a thing? Acceptance. The taking and receiving of anything in good part, and it were a tacit agreement to a preceding part, which might have been defeated or avoided if such acceptance had not been made. Nope, that doesn't sound much better now, does it? First, you may not know what the word tacit means, so let's look that one up as well. In Black 6, it states, existing, inferred, or understood without being openly expressed or stated, implied by silence or silent acquiescence, as a tacit agreement or a tacit understanding, done or made in silence, implied or indicated but not actually expressed, manifested by the refrainment from contradiction or objection, inferred from the situation and circumstances in the absence of expressed matter. From the above, I deduce that if I accept a thing, then this is an agreement. I agree with what they have said in their writing, whatever it may be. But then if I don't accept it, don't say anything, then there's still an agreement because I don't refute it or contradict what they say in writing. I know from all my past experiences that I certainly don't want to get into a court battle with anyone. No matter how right you may think you are, what law you think is on your side, you always seem to lose in any court. My, what a predicament. So what I want to accept anything for value, how could that phrase possibly be of any help? Well, let's look a little further to find more words and see if we can make any sense out of this. Let's go a little further when we look under acceptance in Black 6th edition. You'll go on down the page until you get to types of acceptance. Beneath that heading, you'll see conditional acceptance. Conditional acceptance, conditional acceptance. Key word. Conditional acceptance. An agreement to pay the draft or accept the offer on the happening of a condition. A conditional acceptance is in effect a statement that the offeree, this is you, is willing to enter into a bargaining differing in some respects from that proposed in the original offer. The conditional acceptance is therefore itself a counter offer. Okay, that sounds a little bit better. If I accept their offer with a conditional acceptance, I now have a counter offer to make back to them. Now the ball's in their court. If they do not answer, then they accept your offer by tacit agreement and you win. Now this sounds much better, but we're not through yet. Let's look on the power of acceptance in the Black's Law 6th edition. Power of acceptance. Capacity of offeree, that's you again, the offeree, upon acceptance of terms of offer to create a binding contract. So if I accept your offer with conditional acceptance, then place my own terms in which I do not accept your offer, then we now have a binding contract. The offerer, a municipality or corporation, must now come back with a rebuttal or a rebuttal to prove my terms and conditions in error. We will go into detail on this with contracts, but first you need to accept these contracts by claiming the fictitious entity the state created when you were born. Redemption. Did you know the United States actually defines a fictitious entity spelled like your name with uppercase letters as a corporation? The definition is in 15 U.S.C. United States Code, Section 44. Corporation shall be deemed to include any company, trust, so-called Massachusetts trust or association, incorporated or unincorporated, which is organized to carry on business for its own profit or that of its members. So if the state has created this unincorporated corporation, then does it have authority over it? Yes, it does. And until you give them notice otherwise, they will always have authority over it. This is what a UCC1 financing statement does. It gives public notice that you, the secured party, have a claim against the debtor, the unincorporated corporation. Now, when you file this notice, you take this entity out of the state, out of the jurisdiction, out of a fictitious entity, and into the private venue, your kingdom. Thus, the entity becomes foreign to the state, and now it becomes an unincorporated foreign corporation to the state. We're just using their terminology. Now, what is a financing statement? I need y'all to understand, first and foremost, before I go further, the importance of understanding financing statements, security agreements, collateral agreements, Schedule A's, learning about trust law, contract law, is because this is how they're taking your property. This is how they're controlling your life, because you're working hard for your property, your goods, all right? This is how they're able to take what you think you may perceive as ownership, your house. It starts with the birth certificate. All right, it starts with these contracts and these agreements that you're signing with these people. If you sign them correctly, you could even get out of shit. They won't even come at you. So a financing statement. A document setting out a secured party's security interest in goods. A document designed to notify third parties, generally prospect buyers and lenders, that there may be an enforceable security interest in the property of the debtor. It is merely evidence of the creation of a security interest and usually is not itself a security agreement. The financing statement is filed by the security holder with the Secretary of State or similar public body. It may be the clerk of courts in your county, and such becomes public record. Security agreement, and this can be found in 28 U.S.C. 3002. An agreement which creates or provides for a security interest or lien between the debtor and the secured party. UCC 9105, subsection H. An agreement granting a creditor a security interest in personal property, which security interest is normally perfected either by the creditor taking possession of the collateral or by filing financing statements in the proper public records. Security interest. And this is important. The interest, the beneficial interest. Interest in property obtained pursuant to security agreement. A form of interest in property which provides that the property may be sold on default in order to satisfy the obligations for which the security interest is given. Often lien is used as a synonym, similar. Although lien most commonly refers only to interest providing securities that are created by operation of law, not through agreements of the debtor and creditor. A security agreement must exist to file a UCC-1 financing statement, but does this mean it must be in writing and attached to UCC-1? Possibly. But what if it is a verbal agreement? Since your Strawman corporation cannot speak, how can it write or sign its name? You can create one and attach it, but you probably don't need it. In fact, one can still do all of the administrative procedures without filing UCC-1 because you are the secured party and creditor, whether you file it or not. File the UCC-1 is actually more for your benefit than for anyone else because it makes the esoteric, intangible subject more real to you and gives you confidence, and that gain alone is worth every bit of the effort expended. And that's how I feel about you just setting your name up as a trust or LLC as well. It gives you more clarity of what's going on. Some of the states give you a hard time with filing the financing statement as they claim you are contracting with yourself. To prevent this, you create a separation between you and your Strawman corporation so that they can tell the difference. One of the things you can do is to apply for a trade name for your corporation. Like some people do trade names, DBAs, I like LLCs. Once this is filed, you will start receiving promotions in the mail, advertising, credit card, whatever. You will not need them, but it indicates that the corporate system now recognizes your Strawman's fictitious entity doing business. So like when you hear Donald Trump's name, when you hear Michael Jordan's name, these are businesses. File your trade name in UCC-1 financing statement. Go to the website for your state and pull up an application for trade name in the UCC-1 financing statement form. You should be able to go to your Secretary of State, wherever you're at. You know, you can do the trade name. You can get your LLC there, your corporation, however you want to do it. You can get it all done there. If you need an EIN, you go to the IRS.gov. Now, you make this certificate as a exhibit on your UCC-1 as well. Fill out the UCC1 financing statement according to the below. Attach your trade name certificate to it as well as a copy of your birth certificate and your corporation commonly referred to as a strawman name. You must put the hospital where you were born as the address for the debtor, as this is where the corporation was created by the state. The hospital, listen, I'm going to say it again. You must put the hospital where you were born at as the address for the debtor, as this is where the corporation was created by the state. You must put the hospital where you were born at as the address for the debtor, as this is where the corporation was created by the state. It is important to list all the contracts that you have signed for your straw man, such as driver's license, social security number, marriage license, passport. Also preserve a number that will become your Treasury posted register account. This account will be set up at the U.S. Department of Treasury with the Secretary of State. Now, here's the Secretary of Treasury. Now look, commercial security agreement. This is how you do it right here. This is your commercial security agreement. This is a simple commercial security agreement. I'm showing you on the screen. If you're following along on the YouTube, if you're following along on the replay. Non-negotiable security agreement is made and entered this day. And you can use this between your businesses too and build business credit. You can put liens between your businesses so you can build business credit and then you can release the lien. And this is what I'm trying to teach people, man. This is what I'm trying to teach people. But this is for the national right here. This is for the American national. This is the American national way. All right? But you can build credit off this. You know, if this was an LLC, you put a legal entity, you could put an LLC. You could put a trust. However you want to do it. Whatever makes sense to you in this game. There's the agreement right there. That's the agreement. We don't have to go over the agreement, but I want you to know it's right there. You drop the donation, you're going to get this agreement. You're going to get all of this. Read through it and see why it works. General provisions of collateral. This is what they're attaching to you when you're signing up with these fictitious entities. This is why they can come in and take your shit. Compliance with law. If you have a public dispute, what has to go down? This is the provisions right here. This is the terms and conditions. Identification. So now listen. Debtor hereby identifies secure party from all harm as expressed in the attached identity bond, incorporated herein as fully set forth within the security agreement. This is a private trust, so to speak. Private terms and conditions. What's going on with your straw man and your spiritual self. This is helping restore your rights. As long as you don't hurt nobody, you're straight. This is what will get you, man, this will help in court situations. You just got to understand what's going on. Now, here's the Schedule A. On the Schedule A right here, what I need you to understand, this is where you want to put your private contracts and personal property. If I was to have a gun, I would put it under my Schedule A. Now it's private property. You follow me? I don't know if you follow me. If I had a car, it'd be right here under my Schedule A. Maybe even a business. You might even want to put the LLC right here under the Schedule A. Ownership of the LLC. There's the indemnity bond. Up to $100 billion. Covered for. Right from the Treasury. Then balancing your account with the U.S. Treasury. The government, or specifically the Internal Revenue Service, keeps an account for your straw man corporation from the time you were born until the time you die. That is the straw man. That is all the straw man really is, an account. An accounting of the commercial transactions of the credit that you as a creditor gives to the United States. The IRS calls the summary of entries made to the account your individual master file. The IMF. Individual master file. This file is an account of what the straw man has done so that they can put a value on the criminal charges that they are claiming, such as a rum runner in Puerto Rico, an arms dealer in Iran, or a drug dealer in Malaysia. This is how they charge your account, and this is why you have never been charged with these crimes. The debtor, the Strawman Corporation, has. These charges represent millions of dollars worth of U.S. Treasury bonds to the foreign corporations we fondly call United States. As you might guess, depending on the crimes and the assigned values, this balance is a continuing deficit to the debtor, and at first glance it would be an overwhelming feeling to know that if you think you are the debtor, you could owe millions, if not hundreds of millions. But you must ask yourself this question: who is the creditor to this debtor? Is it the United States, the Federal Reserve Bank, or the International Monetary Fund? I think you know the answer. They are pretending to be the creditors, but did they give the substance, or did you? Then why are they getting the interest taxes for the credit units that we have supplied to the corporations? Shouldn't the corporation be paying the interest to us? How did this get turned upside down when the head is the tail and the tail is now the head? Using Bible verses. But look, when you set up your treasury account and discharge your debt in the name of the Strawman Corporation, you have to get a copy of your birth certificate and accept that for value. This is a document that the state issued for the purpose of creating an artificial person in your uppercase name with an account, so that the state can keep an accounting record of all the debt that has been assigned to that person. While you are waiting for your copy of your birth certificate, you have to make an invoice that would have, if they were able to give one to you. Just go through that, man. But the most important thing is get a 1040 ES. This is an estimated tax. So when you're sending these things in, and the new treasury is Janet Yellen, a 1040 ES, this is an estimated tax. But you fill it out, but you don't sign it or fill in the amount. You do not know how much it is. Let them fill it out. When they figure out how much the total is, they would then pay themselves by using this form. $1040 ES. Janet Yellen, Secretary of Treasury. There's the cover letters. That's it. Now, what else? Here's the UCC1 for the American National Way. You want to be American National? This is the way to do the UCC1. There's the templates right there. Instructions for National UCC Financing Statement. And you see right here, send an acknowledgement to, but the organization name, if it's an LLC, if it's a trust, however you want to do it, put care of, birth certificate, filing number right there, and just plug and play. You see, you can put your own stuff in. Plug and play. There's a construction notice, plug and play. We always mark, I'm not going to go over that, what I mark. If you need to talk to me, holler at me. But right here, most of y'all already know what to do. Now look, check this out. I got another one too for you. I'm giving y'all two of them. So this is going to be another collateral agreement right here. And then American National Way right here. American National Way. Some people click this. Alright. Now if you're doing it with your county, you need to learn about this one. You're doing it with the Secretary of State, we've used this. Just letting you know how we've done it. But there you go, man. That's it. That's what I got for y'all today. You want this? Send me a $20 donation on the Cash App, the Don Kalam, put ACL Class 2. Put 1 and 2. Just send a $20 donation. I'll make sure you get 1 and 2. If you already paid for 1, hit me up. Send another. If you already got 1, you already know what to do. Send another donation. I got you. I'm going to send it to you. That's what I got for class today. It's all plug and play with your own stuff. Much peace and love. I appreciate everybody rocking with me. He says, do I take Zelle? Yes. Boom. TJ Nab in the building. Peace to the gods and the goddesses. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate everybody rocking with me. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit subscribe. Make sure y'all hit share. All of that good stuff. We got Gerard in the building. Peace and love. Peace and love, Gerard. I appreciate y'all though, man. So make sure y'all put make sure I get y'all's email address in the memo box with ACL2. Make sure you send $20 donation. I'll make sure you get this, man. If you still need part 1 and you send a $20 donation, I'll make sure you get part 1 too. But Cars Are Cool's in the building. Peace and love. We got Jay Fox in the building. Peace and love. I appreciate y'all. Application of commercial law, I went down. I broke it down with you. I hope it makes sense for you. I do my best to make it simplified for you. Listen, make sure you hit like, subscribe to at least 3 people. I haven't got the dates. All right, hey, I'm getting Cash App. I turned the Cash App sound off, but I'm getting y'all's Cash App. We got Orby. I appreciate you, man. I got you. I'm gonna send it to you. I got you. Make sure your email address. Let me see if it's email address, because I like to pick on you people. Yeah, dog. You're gonna have to send me another $1, dog. Put your email address in the memo box. Come on, Orby. All right, now listen. I think I know who you are, so let me see. You might not have to, but I like to copy and paste. You know what I'm saying? If you in my I got you, KG. If you in my TJ Nab, was that you? That was Orby, dog. Are you Orby? Got me out here guessing. No, I smoke a lot of weed now. That's what I said. Listen, copy and paste, gang, gang. What I do is I copy, because I get I have the email. The Cash App send me an email, and what I do is I copy the email address you put in the memo box, and then I forward you the information. So I think if y'all put yourself in my shoes, y'all can make it easier on both of us and make sure y'all get this great information. But I need you to send this to at least 3 people. That's what I need you to do for me today. If you're on the Facebook, you're on the YouTube, I'm going to need you to send this link to at least 3 people. Tell them why they need to listen to this. All right? And then that's what it is. Much peace and love. I'm coming to a city near you. At the end of the month, I'll be in Chicago. Then I'm always in Atlanta. Hit me up if you're in Atlanta. But September, I'm going to do a major event in Atlanta for my people. So that's just what it is. Much peace and love. Remember, prosperity is your birthright. Peace.